Have you ever left a conversation and thought, why did I act like that? Was that even me? Why do I feel so fake around people? You weren't lying. You weren't manipulating anyone. You weren't trying to deceive. And yet, something feels off. You shift your tone depending on who you're with. You adjust your opinions slightly. You laugh at things you don't really find funny. You soften parts of yourself. You amplify others. And afterward, you feel strangely empty. This isn't random. There's a psychological mechanism behind it, and once you understand it, the shame starts to loosen. The real issue isn't fakeness, it's identity mirroring. What you're experiencing is often identity mirroring. Mirroring is something all humans do. It helps us connect. We unconsciously match energy, speech patterns, posture. It creates social safety. But when mirroring becomes automatic and excessive, it stops being connection and starts being self-erasure. You don't just adapt, you disappear. And the reason isn't insecurity in the shallow sense, it's protection. Where this pattern usually starts. Most chronic identity shifters grew up in environments where emotional safety was inconsistent. Maybe approval came and went. You were praised for being easy. Conflict felt threatening. Expressing strong opinions led to tension. You learned that harmony equals safety. Your brain adapted. Not consciously, not dramatically, quietly. It started scanning. Who do I need to be right now to stay accepted? And when you did adjust yourself, it worked. Less tension, less rejection, less unpredictability. Your nervous system learned a powerful lesson. Adaptation keeps me safe. The brain mechanism behind it. This pattern isn't about personality weakness. It's about threat detection. Your brain has a system designed to monitor social danger. Rejection activates similar neural pathways as physical pain. For the brain, exclusion equals risk. So if you've experienced emotional unpredictability before, your brain becomes hyper-attuned to subtle cues, tone shifts, micro-expressions, slight changes in mood, pauses in conversation. You become socially vigilant. And once your brain detects even the possibility of disapproval, it nudges you, adjust. So you soften your opinion, you agree more quickly, you downplay yourself, you shift humor. It happens so fast you don't even realize you're doing it. This is not conscious manipulation, it's a nervous system trying to prevent social pain. Why it leaves you feeling empty. Here's the contradiction. The strategy keeps you included, but the adjustment disconnects you from yourself. Every time you override your natural response to fit someone else's expectation, your brain logs a subtle signal. My real reaction wasn't safe. Over time, this creates internal fragmentation. You don't know which version of you is real because you've practiced so many. And the exhaustion comes from this, constant internal monitoring. Instead of simply being present, part of your mind is always calculating. Are they comfortable? Am I too much? Should I tone this down? Is this the right response? That background processing drains you. You're not tired from people. You're tired from managing yourself. The hidden fear beneath it. If you go deep enough, most identity mirroring is rooted in one quiet fear. If I show my real self, I might lose connection. Not because you think you're bad, but because somewhere in your past, authenticity had consequences. Maybe subtle ones, maybe loud ones. So your system chose belonging over self-expression. And that made sense at the time. The problem is you're still running the same program. The difference between social intelligence and self-abandonment. It's important to separate two things, healthy adaptation versus self-abandonment. Healthy adaptation. You adjust your tone slightly. You remain aware of your values. You don't feel drained afterward. Self-abandonment. You silence real opinions. You feel relief when alone. You replay conversations wondering who you were. You feel like a performance ended. The key difference is internal tension.
If you feel a subtle tightness while speaking, that's usually the signal you're overriding yourself. Why this pattern is hard to break? Because it works. You're probably likable, you probably avoid conflict, you probably maintain relationships easily. The reward reinforces the behavior. But here's the deeper cost. When people like the version of you that you constructed, you feel even more fake, because you think they don't actually know me, which creates loneliness even when you're surrounded by people. That's the painful paradox. You adjust to stay connected, but the adjustment prevents real connection. How to start shifting this without forcing yourself to be bold. This isn't about suddenly becoming confrontational. It's about rebuilding internal safety. 1. Notice the micro moments. Start small. After a conversation, ask, where did I slightly adjust myself? What did I want to say but didn't? Did my body tense at any point? You're not judging, you're collecting data. Awareness reduces automatic behavior because it moves the pattern from unconscious to conscious processing. When your brain recognizes a pattern consciously, it weakens its automatic grip. 2. Practice low-risk authenticity. Your nervous system needs proof that authenticity doesn't equal danger. So start in small, safe environments. Examples: express a mild disagreement about something trivial. Share a preference without apologizing for it. Let silence sit instead of filling it. Each time nothing catastrophic happens, your brain updates its threat model. It literally recalibrates. Neuroplasticity works through repeated corrective experiences, not big declarations, small, consistent exposures. 3. Slow down your responses. Identity mirroring often happens instantly, so create a pause. When someone asks your opinion, instead of answering immediately, try, "Let me think about that." That pause does two things. It interrupts automatic adaptation, and it gives you space to check in with your real reaction. At first, this will feel uncomfortable. That discomfort isn't danger, it's unfamiliarity. Your nervous system confuses new with unsafe, but they are not the same. 4. Separate rejection from disagreement. One major cognitive distortion in identity shifters is this: disagreement equals rejection, but they are not equivalent. Two people can disagree and remain connected. When you experience minor disagreement and the relationship remains stable, consciously note it. This updates your internal model of connection. Over time, your brain stops treating difference as a threat. 5. Build tolerance for being misunderstood. This is the deeper layer. When you stop mirroring, some people may feel slight friction, not because you're wrong, but because you're different than they expected. That doesn't mean you're losing them. It means they're adjusting. Authenticity sometimes creates temporary discomfort, but it also creates clarity. And clarity filters connections that only worked because you were shape-shifting. The calm truth. You are not fake. You are adaptive. Your system learned how to survive socially. The issue is not that you don't have a personality, it's that you developed a hyper-responsive one. And now you're ready to differentiate between safety and self-erasure. That shift takes patience. It won't happen overnight, but every time you allow a small piece of unedited truth to exist in a room and nothing collapses, your brain rewires a little. And eventually, you stop asking, "Who was I in that conversation?" Because you were there, not performing, not calculating, just present. And that presence feels quieter, less impressive, less polished, but more solid, more real.